Okay, this is Roger again, Mud Fossil University. And first of all, I want to warn you, this was our old channel, Mud Fossils. We don't use that anymore. It's used Mud Fossil University now on YouTube. This goes back a couple of years when I was doing some work on Mars and the Mars crab. And I found that Mars is literally identical to Earth. Identical. No difference whatsoever. Every feature on Mars is found also on Earth. But because the vegetation is all gone and everything, it's easy to see what is left over. And this red stuff here, that is the rust and the red of blood, which is now dust. And that is what happens to the red meat of the creatures on Earth as well. When they had died and you see all that red dust running down from them, that is the blood and so forth that's run out. This is the tissue layers, okay? And in between here, this red stuff has eroded away. Now, this is what I want you to pay close attention to. This is called the Mars crab. Now, anybody that's been paying attention to mud fossils understands there's a vein and an artery, and they normally go together and they service things. This is right down here. This vein and the artery is going into here to service that muscle. And when you look at it really closely, what you see is the arterial side. You see that? That's the artery. And that artery has little tubes that run into the flesh to service the flesh with fresh blood. It goes down here, and that's this reddish look. The one above it is the vein, and the vein does not have these little crab legs, because the vein strictly brings everything back up to the heart and lungs to be reoxygenated. That, my friends, is a vein and an artery, and that, my friends, is on Mars. And if anybody starts talking about the Earth is flat and this is not true, there's no Mars and there's no outer space, I will block you immediately. I'm done with all that stuff. Wake up, see what's in front of your eyes. I'm done with you people. All right, so now let's go into the reality of what we're looking at.
And as they pluck themselves out of the rock, they roll down the hill and then collect right here in between layers. We know we've found conditions just like this on Mars. We have fossil sand dune layers. We also have blueberries all over the surface. So we know the same kinds of things had to have happened on Mars that have happened here. There has to be water flowing through the rock, gathering iron, and then there has to be a huge amount of wind to strip away.
You see them eroding out of they're eroding out from the flesh. Okay, these are the stone balls, and they call them the blueberries on Mars, but they're the exact same stone balls as they are here on Earth. She took them and she cracked them open, and they were hollow on the inside, and I'll show you what they are on here on Earth. They are hollow as well. Okay, this is how they form in these layers, like a onion. All right, when you get down into the center of them, they have a core like this, which is a hollow core, exactly identical to what they have on Mars. Exact same thing they have on Mars. They erode out of flesh. Those are the tendon enthesis balls, and I'll show you how they invest in the human body or in any kind of a creature. All right, there again, once again, that is exactly what they find on Mars, these little stone balls. All right, and this is their origin. They are living balls inside of creatures, and what they do is they anchor the tendons and the ligaments to the bones and to the other organic tissue in the body to make a matrix to pull against. Their tendon enthesis points. And this is exactly how they biologically are constructed. There is the anchor ball itself, and then there's some little interface between the ball and the tendon strap, which is called the abrupt transitions. And they break right at these spots, and they leave these very nice little balls. This is a tendon mat, and these are the straps that come around and attach to the balls. Normally that ball would have been placed in this little tuberosity, this little hole below here. That ball is not supposed to be out of there, but that is the ball that we're seeing all over the Earth. I mean, there's just billions of them on the Earth, and they come extremely large, and they are the same balls that are on Mars. And the Earth was 100% alive. It's in terrible trouble right now. Mars was 100% alive, and now it is 100% dead. Now you just saw that tendon ball on a strap. That is the tendon ball, and that is a strap. This is exactly the same as it was alive at one time. The earth is made of titans. Case closed. There was titans and giants everywhere. These are more of these balls. You see them? Those are the same balls, and the straps have eroded away. And that is normally the case. They'll break right here, and you'll end up with these little pancake-looking balls all over. And they're everywhere on Earth. They call them the giant stone balls. They can't figure it out. It's just an amazing, anomaly. They just cannot. And I've been saying this for years. This is what they are. There is no way to deny this. But it's just too much for anybody's mind, so they just turn their eyes around and, I don't know what they do, blink it away or something. And there was people here back then with high-tech vehicles thousands of years ago cutting slabs of flesh. All of this stuff was dead creatures left over after the Great Flood. And they were still in wet, waterlogged conditions where they were beginning to dry out and become mineralized. Before they did that, they were cutting these slabs off, and they took those slabs and they built walls out of them. All right, here's your tendons. Here's where they were cutting off the slabs, and that's where they were putting them in walls in the back there. And they would fit so nicely, just like chunks of putty. There's no slots, no holes, no nothing. And that's why they've always, ooh, how did they do it? Well, they made them when they were moist. They literally sliced in and down, picked it up and took it, sliced in and down, took it, sliced in and down, took it away. That's how they did these things. And there's so much was done while these materials were moist. The work was like a tenth of what we thought it was. They weren't digging through solid stone. They were just literally slurping it out like it was putty. All right, so that brings you into a little bit of reality. Mars was alive. Earth is alive still, barely. All of these things were living bits and pieces of life, and they were from giants and titans and Gaia. All of the things that were recorded through the earliest parts of our history in antiquity should be looked at with a little more interest, because they were not just silly stories. The stories we're hearing are ridiculous stories about absolutely made up silliness, and because they cannot get their mind around the fact that life and God is one.